What's up everyone? In this video I want to find out if I can improve the Edge Zero tremolo system on my Ibanez RG3570Z Prestige by installing a brass tremolo block. So my problem with this guitar is that the tremolo is not bouncy or, fluttery enough for my taste. I really like to do these trem flicks and have those really long flutters in the notes when playing leads and stuff. And this guitar just doesn't do it. Also the general feel when doing, like slight vibratos or so is not as good as on my Ibanez RG550 Genesis, for example, which has the original Edge tremolo. That guitar flutters like there's no tomorrow. Although it's Prestige, I think with this Edge Zero tremolo, it is not that fun to play, although the neck is, and all is very great. However, I would not generalize this problem saying all Edge Zeros are non-fluttery when you remove the ZPS, the 0-point stabilizer, which is the first thing to do, but still mine doesn't really flutter. I've seen in a video by Thomas McLaughlin, which is one of my favorite guitarists by the way, I've seen in his videos where he presents an Ibanez with an Edge Zero and that guitar flutters like crazy.
Yeah, it's really very fluttery.
So doing some research online, the only thing I can find is people complaining about the Edge Zero, and I've came across this. This is a brass tremolo block for the Edge Zero, a replacement block by Hantug from Turkey. So there's no sponsoring going on here. I've ordered this off eBay, and I think with some taxes and all, it cost me around 100 euros, which is quite a big price for just some little piece of metal for your guitar. But I was really hoping to, get this guitar to play the way I want, because I really like this guitar and I want to keep it. Today I want to see if this does improve the guitar or not. It's not so much about the sound. This may have sound improvements, but the main reason why I'm installing this is to do those trem flicks and generally improve the feel of the tremolo. So that's what we're going to do in this video. Stick around. Okay, so this trem block swap is pretty much straightforward. I think it took me about half an hour. It probably takes you less if you don't film yourself. But I started by removing the strings, of course, removing the back plate to get access to the trem system. And then it's just a matter of removing the springs and the trem is coming right out. Then I removed the saddles, which took me a while to figure out how you can remove the fine-tuning screws. But I'm going to show you when I'm reassembling it, how it's done. Then it's only 3 screws that hold the block in place. And here you can see them in comparison, and you can definitely feel the weight difference between those two. The brass block is so much heavier. Now it's time to install the saddles back in. Fine-tuning screw, which is being held by a very little plastic washer, which you can see here. This little motherfucker is a bit of a pain to get in, but once you got the trick with some very small pliers, it is quite easy to install them back, but it's harder not to lose them. Now it's just a matter of reinstalling all the saddles. By the way, you can leave the 2 outer saddles in because they are not blocking the screws of the trem block. So here's a little trick to get the springs in much easier. Just turn the spring tensioner back all the way to the bridge, and like this you almost don't have to pull on the springs at all to get them back in place, and it's a very easy job. Last but not least, I decided to give the frets a quick polish as they were looking a bit dull, and I restrung the guitar with 11 to 52 Ernie balls for drip C. So the question is, can the new trem block save the Edge Zero and make it much more fluttery? No. Yeah, so it doesn't magically save my problem with this tremolo. And it's not the block's fault, don't get me wrong. The block is great and it does make a difference, which I'm going to talk about in a minute. But I think it's just the Edge Zero, or this Edge Zero in particular. It just doesn't want to flutter. And oh, by the way, if you're thinking, yeah, well, just do it in this direction. It does flutter much more in this direction, of course. But I don't know, with my playing style and what I play, I like to have the arm here to do, you know, like normal trem work, and flick it right here, which works on my RG550. Now after the install, I was thinking, and I was like, of course. And I remembered replacing the springs on my RG550 for stronger Goto springs, and it made the guitar, which was already super fluttery, even more fluttery. And I was like, of course, how could I forget about the springs in the tremolo system? And here's the next problem with the Edge Zero. Because with basically all other tremolo systems, you can just buy random replacement springs all over the place and just experiment with tension and length and strength and whatnot. But if you take a look at, this is an Edge Zero spring. If you take a look at that spring, and this is the original spring from my RG550 Genesis, look at that length difference. And also if you like, you know, feel the tension, this is much more stiff. And here comes the thing of the things. If I have the hook like this, facing towards you, look at the ring. The Edge Zero has the ring 90 degrees turned because it has a different system, you know, with that easy turning thing, which I absolutely hate. And this makes it impossible to fit, you know, regular trem springs onto the Edge Zero. So the only thing, or the only replacement springs for the Edge Zero are from Ibanez Edge Zero springs for 7-string, which are the ones that I have installed right now in this guitar. And it made like, I would say 5% of a difference, but that's all. So the 7-string springs for the Edge Zero are even stiffer and even bigger than these ones. So I figured, you know, when the springs are much heavier, I don't need to pull that much on the spring tensioner, so they have more room to breathe. And it was an improvement, but it was just so minor that, I don't know, I'm giving up. That's it. I don't know, the Edge Zero is just not for me, and this is, I think it's not savable without any permanent modifications, like, I don't know, complete system change. I was thinking about, you know, routing out a bit more of the cavity and just installing a regular claw, you know, with 2 screws into the back of the guitar. But then it hit me and I thought, well, it doesn't work because the trem block only has 2 screw holes, you know. And I think you should have at least like 3. That's what I have on the RG550. I think you need 3 springs because these are not as heavy and just more bouncy and stuff. That's the story, and I think that's the end of this story. I'm going to keep the guitar because, and that's where the benefits of the Hantug Brass Block come in. It did improve the guitar, and it's not something I can really show you here on video. It's more a feel thing. So the general feel that I was talking about in the beginning of the trem has improved a lot. You can feel that there's more mass, and it's just a bit heavier and a bit more accurate to operate, you know, the first, you know, millimeter or so. And there's just a difference when you hit the string, and that's something I can't show you on video. It's just what I feel when you hit the string with your hand and just play, and how it reacts. You know, that it seems like there's more attack to the guitar and just more saturation and mass. It's hard to put into words, but I can feel a difference. So I cannot blame the block. The block does a great job. It improved the guitar, like it's just like that small cherry on top of the cake that makes a difference. But yeah, so I don't know what you should do with this video. Don't get an Ibanez with an Edge Zero, or I don't know, be frustrated with yours that you already have. I don't know, get rid of yours, I don't know. I can recommend the Hantug replacement block. I cannot recommend the Edge Zero in the beginning. I still keep me this guitar for now because I really like it, and it plays so well. It sounds very good. I don't want to do any permanent modifications. I wanna keep it original and revertible to stock. So much for that. Hope you enjoyed it anyway. If you have an idea, if you have an Edge Zero and yours is super fluttery, if you've done any mods to it, please let me know. That's all for today. Thank you so much for watching. Thanks so much to my Patreons for all the support. If you are interested in the presets that I use in these videos, backing tracks of my original songs, behind the scenes and more, feel free to check out my Patreon if you want to support me. Please listen to my music on Spotify and everywhere else. If you like it, it's out there. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time.